say, kids, what time is it?
Hey guys, Keith here from GeekTime TV on the road again. Bought this fancy little headset to try to alleviate some technical issues and keep things kind of smooth going forward when I'm traveling. So anyway, I did get a chance this week to watch the season premiere of Orville New Horizons, or Orville Season 3, however you look at it. And I just wanted to leave a couple quick thoughts. But before we get into the video, if you have not subscribed, please do. It only helps the channel grow. Please like or dislike. It's totally up to you. We can take it. So that said, let's talk about the new episode of Orville. First of all, it felt a little bit to me like almost like another pilot. Um, it opens with a big battle, of course, which just sucks you right in. It's basically a recap of the end of season 2, the battle with the Kalons. So immediately you're kind of brought back. It's a little bit of a refresher for people who have watched the Orville, and also kind of setting the table for people who have never watched the Orville now that it's moved over from Fox to Hulu. So it kind of gives you a quick little background on what's about to come, which is the residual fallout from this battle with the Kalons. So you know, immediately we're right back on the Orville, but it's in space dock and it's being refit. It's getting some upgrades, and the bridge is kind of like the bridge is completely made over. It's like brighter now. It's got that Apple Store thing going on. I mean, it was always bright, but it has a more streamlined kind of look to it. And we see some of our crew out on the top of the ship, and they're replacing these panels in the hull and whatnot. And while this is going on, Malloy is test flying a new, like a stealth fighter, little mini fighter ship, which was really kind of cool. Reminded me a little bit of a Viper from Battlestar Galactica. I forgot the name. They had a name for it. Forgive me, I'm watching these things late at night, so I kind of blanked on the name of it. So, like, those elements of the first episode are what felt very kind of like a pilot to me. In addition, we're introduced to a new character, Charlie. What's her last name? Charlie Burke. And Charlie, um, it's kind of like the Ensign Chekhov thing from Star Trek 2. Those of you who are familiar with it, um, they didn't add Star Trek Chekhov to Star Trek till season 2. But there was an episode in season 1 called Space Seed, and it was the introduction of Khan Noonien Singh, which the character became, was brought back in Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. And of course, he runs into Mr. Chekhov in the movie and says, "I'll never forget you, Mr. Chekhov." Chekhov wasn't on the ship in season 1. So here we have Charlie Burke, kind of the same thing. So she seems like an intriguing character. She's the newest cast member, Ann Winters. So she's going to be the new navigator. And anyway, so her story begins. She's in the mess hall. They're having lunch. Looks like a bunch of young ensigns or lieutenants are all having lunch. And Isaac comes in and sits down, and they all get up and leave. And she comes back and sits down with Isaac and basically tells this really detailed story about the death of her good friend because of, and spoiler alert if you haven't watched season 2 of the Orville, shut this off right now, because of what Isaac did when he turned on the crew of the Orville last season in favor of his race. So she basically tells him she wants him to die. And this is going on all over the ship. It's not just her, it's everyone. Like, nobody wants to deal with Isaac, including the Finn family. The kids are traumatized, most notably Marcus. And Isaac finds himself in isolation. And I think what's interesting is, much like they did on Star Trek The Next Generation with Data And even with Spock in the original series, as time goes on, he is like learning emotion and feeling emotion. So the episode gets into and explores those things. And it's kind of interesting as we came out of COVID, where a lot of us were isolated. It touches on the themes of isolation. It touches on the themes of mental illness. It touches on, of course, suicide um, in a really deep and interesting manner. And it takes uh, all kinds of different angles in in looking at it because spoiler alert again, Isaac decides to kill himself, for lack of a better term. Basically, shorts himself out. And then there's the grief, and there's the anger, and there's all the things that go with that involved. As someone, I lived with someone who did this, and it's not easy to deal with. And you go through that gamut of emotion, and it was. I thought the episode handled it really well. Kind of I'm not going to go, I'm going to keep this short, but this seems to me like the topic and the what happened with Isaac feels like that should have been 2, maybe 3 episodes in. I would have thought that kind of as a relaunch on Hulu, they'd give you something a little faster paced and a little more fun, to bring you in, but it went straight into classic Star Trek kind of stuff, the deep storytelling, the nuanced storytelling that we don't get from the new Star Trek. Star Trek was always good at tackling sociological issues very tactfully and very tastefully, whereas new Star Trek does it with the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the back of the skull. It's just not subtle at all, and the dialogue is abominable. The writing is terrible. It's very juvenile. Where this was real adult drama. So yeah, it was interesting. I'm looking forward to. Oh, where'd I go? I'm looking forward to season 3. There I am. Love to know what you guys think. But for a first episode, I thought it was really really good storytelling. Of course, it was powerful and emotional. And it was great to see the crew back again. I could have used more Bortus. I love Bortus. I think he's in there for a cup of coffee. But I'm sure we'll see plenty of our old characters again, and was really touching to see Yaphet, who's voiced by Norm Macdonald, of course, and Norm passed away this year, and the episode is actually dedicated to Norm right at the top. So, all in all, it was great to see this back. It's great to have like real science fiction with depth and nuance and real characters who feel 3-dimensional versus the crap that Secret Hideout and Alex Kurtzman are pumping out over there at Star Trek. It's just shit. If you want to watch classic Star Trek, this is the show you want to watch. I'm looking forward to episode 2. I might just do some quick reviews as we go. But so far, so good. Love to know what you guys think, so leave a comment below. Smash that like button if you're so inclined. And we will see you again as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. You take care.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up below. Also, please subscribe to GeekTime TV. It really helps us grow the channel. And make sure you hit that bell icon in order to receive notifications every time we drop new content here. You can also check us out on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GeekTimeNet. Thanks again for watching. We will see you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?